Hello and welcome to the ChinnyVision Summer Q&A 2021. I'm at ChinnyVision Rocks, where the tide is rapidly coming in. I couldn't actually get onto the rocks because they are underwater, as you'll see in the cutaway I'm showing now, and I had to scramble down some very, very steep and treacherous cliffs, Honest, to get down to this little beach where we are now. Look, here's my microphone. Here's my microphone just to prove this is live. I will be cutting in exciting pictures as well, just to liven this up, so it's not just my phone pointing at the sea. For people who don't want to watch the Q&A, all you need to know is ChinnyVision returns the first week of September with regular Thursday night videos. There will be irregular videos though throughout, well, there'll be a few irregular videos in August at various points, but I couldn't tell you when that's going to be or what they're going to be. I'm just going to put my recorder in my bag there, down there. But I have questions from the ChinnyVision Patreon people, the people who help support the channel, the people who keep it ad-free. And I'm going to read some of them out and try and answer them. And we're going to try and not be underwater if we possibly can, although the tide is coming in rapidly. So we, as usual, we may have to move. First question is from Steve Anderson. What's the oddest place you've seen properly Electro technology being used? His example is on the beachfront at Weston-super-Mare. The model railway had an attraction sign well into the 90s that was just a ZX81 plugged into a 20-inch telly. I can tell you where I saw something really old being used. It was the museum in Dorchester. Oh, it might be about 10 years ago now, actually. They had an Amiga still running a display in there, and you could tell it was an Amiga because you could see its workbench and all the rest of it. So yeah, they were using an Amiga. That's probably the most place, or the place I've seen something working, other than factories, because factories, when they buy things like CNC machines, they cost, well, some of the machines can cost a couple of £1 million, and therefore these machines are kept around running forever and ever and ever. And oh dear, we're going to get wet, aren't we? And I've seen MS-DOS and stuff running in factories on very high-end gear because, well, they've had to. Next question is Andrew Beldy. What's the very last system you considered retro? And do you feel that's a decision that will stay put? I think that would be probably the Dreamcast. I think it's the last one for me. I think, yeah, probably. I mean, some people consider the PlayStation retro. It's a bit borderline. It's a very individual thing for that. Yeah. Andrew Waite asks, where do you live? Where in the UK is ChinnyVision based? We are based at ChinnyVision Rocks, which is rapidly going to be underwater. So that is where we're based. Apologies if the camera isn't quite straight, by the way, it's bounced on a rock. We're based in Hampshire usually though, but today we are in Cornwall for the summer Q&A as per usual. Andrew also asks, when will the original Raspberry Pi become retro? I don't know, because they keep improving it. Will people want to go back to the Raspberry Pi to use stuff? It's more of a utility thing, isn't it? Like I don't know, an iron or a frying pan than a computer in its own. Well, it is a computer, I know it's a computer, but it's a bit different. It's not the kind of same kind of thing that we kind of use as computers. Ultra Steve Green asks, it's the 1980s, so most 8-bit micros are on the way out. You've made millions publishing compilations and you release one final multi-format set with games on the 4 main systems, CPC, C64, Spectrum and BBC. You can choose one or almost 2 games from each system. What will be on the last ChinnyVision or ChinnySoft compilation? Head over heels, the CPC, probably Spin Dizzy CPC. He's not mentioned the A8, which is a shame because I put Ball Blazer on there. For the Spectrum, I would probably put Starglider 2 on there. I'm going to wander around with this camera. If this thing gets very close, the sea, I'm going to start wandering with the camera and holding it instead. C64, I would probably put Creatures 2 on there. BBC, Elite. Yeah, Elite, not Repton. Elite on the BBC compilation. That's quite nice. Spectrum, probably something earlier, probably Death Chase and stop the Express on the Specky as well. Another one on the C64. Oh, IK Plus. Yeah, that's what I'd probably put on there. Lyle Moffat asks, if you were a soup, which flavour soup would you be? Oh, that's a weird question. Vegetable, I suppose. I like vegetable soup. Lord Kern asks, can you tell what 8-bit someone had growing up by their preferred keyboard controls? Well, QA. Well, you see, some people like QAOP, some people like ZXOK. If they've got their fingers everywhere over the keyboard, then they're clearly a BBC Micro owner. If they're not used to using a keyboard, they're a C64 owner. But I think most Specky and CPC owners will go QAO and P. It's starting to happen. It's starting to happen. We're going to be underwater. I am, however, standing on a rock, but I may have to salvage the phone in a minute. Apologies again if it is crooked. Yeah, and a lot of systems were kind of joystick only. A8s tended to be a lot of joystick stuff, didn't they? I'm going to pick this phone up, I think. That's where we've been perched. That's where we've been perched. I'm going to move us over there and give you a different view. So yeah, that's yeah. Any other 8-bit systems use keyboards and things? Oh, you see, C16 and Plus 4. They kind of, a lot of the games tend to be joystick only, don't they? To try and encourage you to use the Commodore joystick. Again, a lot of games are, yeah. I don't know really with that one. Next question. Now you see, the problem is I've picked this up and now I can't see what's going on. I'm going to try and hold you up there. Yeah. It's windy. I'm going to walk over here. There may be a jump cut. We're still recording, and I don't know what you can actually see up there, but never mind. And by the way, in my scrunched up look, my script's now scrunched up there, and you're done there, and sorry if you're not straight. Best question here, by the way, gets a surprise prize. So surprising, I don't know what it's going to be. I will just decide that in a minute. Lyle Moffat asks another question. Which system did you lust after, only to be disappointed by it in more recent times when you actually got your hands on it? What have I lusted after? Systems? Yeah, I felt the Elk was a bit of a letdown when I finally got hold of one. I thought might be a bit more close to the BBC Micro, but it's just a bit too slow and clunky. The build quality's nice though. The MSX can be disappointing if you haven't got the right games for it, but I kind of knew that. The problem is I know most of these systems, so there's not many big surprises. You sometimes find the game's really good or something like that, but you know, it's, you know, you might find some games that are really good, but you don't really get surprised unless you got something exotic. MSX2 is quite surprising. When you got proper MSX2 games, they can be quite kind of like wow. I'm going to cut some shots into what ChinnyVision Rocks, where I actually usually sits, look like at the moment, because it's getting quite interesting over there. I would be properly up to water in my waist if I was over there now. I'll show you. I'll point that out in an edit, and the water is coming up still. Steve Anderson asks another question. Retro byte versus aftermarket replacement cases. Thoughts? He likes the look of aged kit. You wouldn't retro byte your face, for example. You're not Michael Jackson. Oh dear, we've upset again. We're going to upset the Michael Jackson fans again after the Moonwalker video. Oh, they got so upset. If you've got a smashed up case, then clearly a replacement case is the way to go, because you've got a smashed up case. I bought one of those Amiga 1200 replacement cases and key set caps, and I haven't put it anywhere near my Amiga 1200 because it does not look right. It doesn't look original, it doesn't feel original, I just don't like it. but I'll keep it because I might want it one day. My Amiga 1200 case may get damaged, who knows. So yeah, I think preferably, unless your case is really damaged, you should be using the original cases. I mean, it's great you can buy Spectrum cases and all sorts of things. I'd like there to be more replacement cases, but people do make too much about these replacement cases, making a big fuss about it when, yeah, they do a job, basically. We're going to move again in a second, aren't we? Jonathan Holt asks, you time travel to spring 1985, you're suddenly employed at Atari and put in charge of the ST. It's launching in 3 months, but there's time to change one thing so it can be an Amiga beta. What do you change or improve? Right, we're moving. We are moving again. Look, there's ChinnyVision Rocks over there. What would I change on the ST or Amiga, on the ST to improve it? As I change my... See that? This is being done live. I mean, I know I'm cutting footage in from other parts of the week to liven this up. What would I change on the ST? What would you do to make it? To make it really kind of... You'd never make it an Amiga beta with one change, unless you put some kind of ASIC in there, like the CPC Plus has loads of functions built into it. You could do that. That would help you beat the Amiga, wouldn't it? Some kind of fancy ASIC with hardware scrolling and all sorts of things. But I'm assuming Jonathan means by 1985 standards, so I think you should put some kind of graphics chip in there to give it some more kind of hardware kind of scrolling and sprite support to throw graphics around. So it's got some kind of 2D graphics capability more than the main processor has. That's a really difficult question. That's a really difficult question. I'm going to cut something in now while I look at the next question. Another question from Steve Anderson, and these are all Patreon people. These are the people who keep adverts off ChinnyVision and make it all possible. Steve Anderson asks, who do you think the most underrated content creator is? There's so many people on YouTube now, more and more people. Most of them not insane enough to do their Q&A every year on a beach with an incoming tide. But makes for nice pictures, doesn't it? Geiger Punk, Rob's Retro Rambles. He's over on the Isle of Wight today, meeting White Hot and having adventures and buying loads of retro stuff, because basically in the Isle of Wight it's 1988 still, and you can still get, well, no, I'm joking of course, but their second-hand shops and things have loads of retro stuff in, and he's been to that retro shop in Ryde I went to a couple of years ago, and met up with White Hot, had some Orangina, which I didn't know they still made, but he does some really nice stuff on his channel, just pointing at a TV screen and just rambling really, but I do enjoy that. Dudley at Yesterday's Zine does some nice stuff about magazines and various bits. Bloggo's Pal, I haven't watched any of his stuff for a little while, but was doing some nice bits and pieces on there. Who else is underrated? The problem is everyone's kind of known, aren't they? I do try to... I was really annoyed when YouTube took away the feature where you could include liked videos in a list on your... as a playlist on your channel. That's really annoying, because I used to like liking videos and putting it on there so people could see I'd watch them and like them. I always say Rob down in Australia, he does nice kind of thoughtful videos about stuff. Got a C64, obviously he's Australian, so it's kind of, you know, the C64 and Japanese systems and so on. Although the CPC was sold in Australia, so he doesn't really have an excuse not for having one. There's loads. There's Dudar, who does the Noel blokey, put his name on the screen, does some nice technical videos. Noel's Retro Lab, is it? I scan through a lot of this stuff and I don't always take the channel names in. And also outside of retro channels, I like watching Hubnut lately. He does some nice stuff with old cars. Dave Jones down in Australia as well, doing the electronics videos, Big Clive, and all those people. But there's so much content out there now And generally speaking, I'm not watching a huge amount of retro content because I'm usually making it or working on other stuff, so I want a bit of escapism from other stuff. My fingers are going to sleep here. So there's loads out there, and I try to recommend them on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, join Twitter and follow ChinnyVision, because I will link to stuff that I like. And you can say all the big channels like Kim Justice and so on, because they're massive. Everyone knows about them. But take it as read. Ashens and all of them, all good stuff. Any other questions? Can I see? Oh right, we've got one more from Lord Kern. Look at the state of my script. I can't. It's just. It is normal to take a printer on holiday with you, isn't it? Because I literally did. Because I needed to print some stuff and send it, so I've got my brother black and white laser printer with me. But I bought it for to keep a printer with me once for 6 months, and I never actually used it. Right, okay, so Lord Kern says, on a scale of Sir Clive to Lord Allen, where we place Jack Tramiel as a businessman and a pioneer? Tramiel's, where do you place Tramiel? Auschwitz survivor, founded Commodore, all the fearsome reputation. We've heard of Jack attacks, and how he used to go in and fire everyone. I don't think Sugar kind of went in and fired people, but I heard stories about him giving people a proper telling off. Where we place, so it's different. You've got Sir Clive, and they're all kind of, you've got to be a certain type of personality to be a business person like that, to be that kind of success. And slightly, what do they say? I can't remember the phrase. I listened to a thing on radio once saying it's almost like a personality disorder you need to have to be that kind of cutthroat business person. And Tramiel was very different. Clive wanted to invent. Sugar, what's that quote? He says things like, all these different companies want to take care of you, but at Amstrad we just want your money. Amstrad was just a money-making machine. It really was. They sold electronics, but really, that was what Alan Sugar got into. It didn't have to be electronics. It could have been rocks or something if he thought he could make money. But he spotted the kind of niche for hi-fi and then computers and so on. So, yeah, it's different. Tramiel was kind of a cutthroat businessman who again saw an opportunity with computers. He's not a computer person. To be fair, Clive's not a computer person either. But he spotted that potential and spotted that market and went for it. So, yeah, where I put him on a scale compared to the others, I really don't know. Right, I now need to decide who is going to win a mystery prize. I want it to be the person who asked me about the ST stuff. Jonathan Holt, you win a prize. I know what it'll be. I know what you're going to win. I've just spoken to someone today about a new piece of ChinnyVision kind of rewards / merch that will be easily postable, and I can send them out easily. And I just need to get someone to get a design together, really, with it. And I think I know, Jonathan, I'm going to send you one of the new things that hasn't been made yet. But by the time you see this, you might, they'll be out, so you're going to be getting one. So thank you to everyone who sent their questions in. Thank you for putting up with this ridiculous kind of handheld camera on the beach as the tide comes in. As ChinnyVision rocks over there, that's where I usually do it. Literally there. That's where I prefer to be when I'm doing this. Sometimes I'm kind of out there, but usually that's the spot. But I can't. So thank you for watching. ChinnyVision returns first Thursday in September with regular Thursday night videos. What will they be? I don't know, but I'm going to be making videos all of August to put out in autumn. Exciting things. Don't know what they're going to be yet. Some of them I've already made, in fact. But yeah, there's people coming down here now, so I better shut up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you to everyone And ChinnyVision, as I say, will be a few videos out in August, but regular Thursday night videos return in the first Thursday in September. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic summer, and fade out to the Eldorado theme tune. Do 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 do. Unbelievably, while I was down there recording it, and sorry for the rubbish phone audio now, I had one final question come in, so I thought I'd better answer it. It's from David Mitchell. Look, that's where I had to scramble up down there. It's from David Mitchell asking if I'd ever have a ChinnyVision get together. Probably not. I have met people from ChinnyVision, but I'd probably do it on a one-to-one thing. If I ever need to meet people, I don't think we're that kind of channel where we have kind of mass get together. It would be awkward, and it's not really the kind of ChinnyVision style, is it? I mean, look, I'm over here. I'm kind of behind the camera, not in front of it. So no, I don't think there would be, I'm afraid. Yeah, but really, I am really going now.